The question is, how much do they matter? And what I present today is sort of the three biggest sets of ideas about the degree to which they matter and how they matter in comparison to the content that they carry. How you balance those. What's the deal with regard to the medium and the content that's on it? Okay? What are the relationships? There are other proposals, but these are the three big ones, and that's why I kind of start there. And they also connect to our questions about new and difference. First one's Marshall McLuhan, okay? Kind of the demigod of new media theory. He was actually an old media theory guy. That is, he studied more than anything else advertising and some television and some radio and some news, but he sort of prophesized what might happen in the digital era. He died before we got PCs. He saw mainframes and sort of started to think about how they might work. So McLuhan says, oh, I'm sorry, I already kind of did that, what a medium is, my bad. I'll come back to that determinism part in just a minute. So McLuhan says, the medium is the message. Think about the relationship between mediums and the content on them. McLuhan wrote, that it's the infrastructure of the technology that matters. It's all the stuff and all the potential of the stuff. And then the changes that all of that makes in us. That's really the message. The content doesn't really make a difference at all. It doesn't really matter. Make a difference what the content is, really. So what does that mean? Well, let's see, for example, there was a point at which in America, schools were not generally wired. There might be a school that has a television, might be another one that doesn't. There was a school that had a videotape machine that would go on the television, another school had a television and a videotape machine, 4 or 5 didn't have anything, you know. So there's a consortium, private, for profit, that got together and decided, hey, here's a business model. Let's wire all the schools with televisions. We'll give them all a television and a VCR for free. All they got to do is watch a 15-minute news program each day. It's called Channel 1. Wired most of the schools in America because almost every principal just couldn't pass it up. Right? And very few classrooms in America now don't have televisions, okay? And a VCR to go with it for most classrooms, partially because of Channel 1. That also kind of, the guys who said yes then kind of put pressure on all the guys who said no because they had it and they didn't, and the parents got mad, so they ended up having to buy them. Okay. Now, every day for 15 minutes, students would watch a little news program that Channel 1 did. And of course, there were a couple ads around the news program. So, McLuhan would say, it's the medium that's the message. Okay? The data researching what students retained from that 15 minutes news program has always been incredibly consistent. Can you suggest how much students retained from that 15-minute news program on Channel 1 every day watching those televisions in their schools?
Not much.
Almost zero, consistently, across demographics, geographics, almost nothing. What'd they get? Yeah.
Wasn't it like assigning importance to the medium pretty much? Like if you watch TV, you're going to be so desensitized.
They got to learn their schools are supposed to have televisions. Television's a useful way to learn. It's a tool for learning. It belongs in the schools. Hell, it's almost intellectual. That's the message, according to McLuhan. Now, that's not to say that it's truth. I'm just describing this way of talking about the relationship between the content and the medium. In fact, McLuhan used to say, or wrote, that the content of a medium, the program, what's on it, what it's about, what kind of program, what you learn in it, all that stuff. The content is like the raw meat that a burglar throws over the back fence to distract the guard dog. That's the content of media. Doesn't matter hardly at all. But what matters is the infrastructure. Okay? So, does it matter that there's a lot of porn on the internet? Does it matter that there might be child predators on the internet? Does it matter? No, it does, I suppose. But for McLuhan, what matters is this net, webbed, global, galactic, connected thingy closes up space and time and makes us think that everything should happen really fast. Otherwise, we're really kind of ticked off. I mean, you know, I need broadband, and what I really need is fiber. And why do I need it? Because I want it now! Click, 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 click. Click, 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 click. That's if your finger still works after the carpal tunnel. Okay? That's the message, right? Not the content that's in the medium. So it's the infrastructure, right? And the medium works to extend certain senses and to truncate others. Okay? Changes us. We'll talk about these changes during the course of the term.